Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Neon Nights FM. I am your host, Michael DeLeon. And joining me today, we have our very own Daddy Sins, a.k.a. JB. Say hello to the good folks tonight, JB.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? I hope everyone's doing well in the late night. It's the witching
Yeah,
hour. Wait,
not quite. Well, when we're recording this, it's not quite the witching hour, but by the time it goes up, it probably very well will be.
yeah, it's only like 11, so we are almost there.
We're almost there. We're off by at least, I think, was it 4 hours? The witching hour starts at like 3 a.m. or
S
2 a.m.,
Something like
right?
that, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Janine and I were staying at that haunted hotel over in what was it? I think it was Terrytown, the King's Estate. I really don't recommend anyone staying there unless they really want a well, lackluster experience, as it were. I had set up some cameras and they recorded bupkis. Literally, the only thing they recorded, I think, was Janine getting up in the middle of the night to go use the bathroom, and that's about it. So,
Yeah, I remember the
yeah,
good old days of the witching hour, like back in like 400 years ago. Good times.
back when back when Paranormal Activity was a thing. Now, is that still a thing? By the way, Paranormal Activity,
It,
because they made
so,
like 16 films, I think.
no, they're not up to Fast and Furious yet. They're,
Oh, okay.
so I think they had some like off, like, side movies, Paranormal Activity. But I think
Right,
as
like
a
the marked ones
genre,
and stuff like that.
yeah, it was like the marked ones or something. Yeah, it was like the marked ones. But I think that genre as a whole, at least like the paranormal ones, has I don't want to say died, but it definitely fell off. And I think the only one I'm actually interested in that is still alive and kicking is the Conjuring series, because they did announce a Conjuring. Is it? I think it's four, technically. It's actually gonna be a sequel.
What's it going to be about though? Because the way the Conjuring series is kind of leaving off, it's like what is it the Warnos? What's
The
the name of the
Warrens.
family? The Warrens. The Warrens. Thank you.
Yeah, Ed and Lorraine
The
Warren.
Yeah, the Warrens. They're kind of at the end of their career rope. Ed. The heart attack thing that happened at the end of The Devil Made Me Do It, which was god awful.
Yeah, it
Um,
wasn't that great, honestly. It
no, compared to the lineage of that, especially was it Conjuring 2 with what Valak?
hmm Conjuring 1, 2, and then the first Annabelle, and then the Nun. Those are some scoop movies. We're talking like,
Well,
nah, you good.
technically speaking, I think The Curse of La Llorona was also a part of the Conjuring universe too. I think
It was
loosely
it
connected.
was one of it was another side movie,
Yeah.
kind of like Annabelle, but Annabelle was more still towards the main storyline of it.
Well, yeah, because
Then you
Annabelle
had
was the
that and the
Anna.
Babadook. That was also a side one.
Wait, the Babadook is set in that universe.
Yes, it's a side movie technically. Yeah. So you encounter the Babadook briefly in Conjuring 2. You see in that little spinning toy that the kid had, that the daughter has.
Holy shit! Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna have to look this up. But yeah, that I
Yeah,
did not
no.
know that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I look it up just in case. But yeah, no, I think it definitely is part of the whole universe. It was one of those at that time, I think, went straight to DVD.
Well, yeah, the Babadook, if I'm not mistaken, that was like an indie film, wasn't it at the time?
So I think it came right after they did The Conjuring 2, because they started the whole like side movies of The Conjuring.
Yeah, well, I mean, they went full balls deep with Annabelle. That was their pretty much after The Conjuring. Annabelle, they milked to death with Annabelle Origin, Annabelle, whatever, Annabelle 1, 2, and
The
insert all
first two
sorts of other.
Annabelles are really good, and then Annabelle. No, it was Annabelle, and there was. I think it was Annabelle Origins. I think that was Kate. Whatever the third, I gotta look it up. Whatever the third movie was, it wasn't the greatest. It's kind of usually how the curse of the sequels. Oh, it's Annabelle Comes Home.
Funny that's the one. Tie in the Bride, Annabelle Comes Home, and La Llorona, Curse of La Llorona.
Yep.
Okay.
Annabelle and Annabelle
Um,
Creation were actually really good, and then Annabelle Comes Home was like, eh. you know,
See,
getting too
here's the
much.
thing. There have been so many of those films. I have completely forgotten which ones I've seen and which ones I haven't. I know around the Halloween time, I saw La Llorona with Janine because we had just literally got done watching that episode of Grimm. I don't know if you ever see that show Grimm on NBC from way back when.
A long time ago. But yes,
So yeah, they had a La Llorona episode, and so she actually took interest in that myth. So I was like, oh, I mean, they do have kind of like a movie set in the Conjuring universe. You want to watch it? And so we did. It was around Halloween time, and we watched it, and I thought it was you know, overall. But yeah, it was pretty interesting to see them try to branch out to various different mythos and the paranormal Conjuring universe, as it were. Which has me wondering: did they say what the new Conjuring film is going to be about?
they didn't say, but I think they just said it is happening.
Okay, I am not finding anything saying that the Babadook takes place in the Conjuring universe. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I can't confirm it.
Yeah. Something it maybe was like it was supposed to be part of it because it was mentioned in The Conjuring too. There's a scene where like the kid there was two daughters and a younger kid, younger son. He has this, kind of like this spinning circus toy.
Yeah, like
Remember,
the
they're
thing
over in what
UK.
they're over in the UK, so they have like this
Hmm.
spinning circus toy, and then they're watching the spinning circus toy go. He has like a little like tent in their house and whatever, and then you see like this creature come up, almost like that, and it's the Babadook. I mean, actually, oh no, not the Babadook. I'm getting mixed up by it's either Babadook or the Crooked Man. The
Well, I know the Crooked Man exists. The Crooked Man is that one that wears that weird hat, kind of almost has that Slender Man appearance, but has a mouth and with the razor sharp teeth.
Oh, okay, I think that's what I got mixed up.
Okay,
So I think that's
so
was it. It was the Crooked Man, but the Babadook was an actual movie. I don't think it was actually set in the Conjuring universe.
well, yeah, I saw the Babadook. I thought it was a fucking snorefest. Like
It was.
people were praising that movie left and right, and I was like, oh, I have to watch this. I was just starting to get. There was a time where I kind of like I got bored with the horror industry because it kind of just felt like everything was bombastic gore and like crazy Japanese body horror shit, like Tokyo Gore Police. Remember I told you about that one, JB?
Hmm.
I thought it was just pretty much that's what horror had devolved into. So I kind of took a break, and then all of a sudden, someone recommended to me, hey, by the way, you should check out the Babadook. I think you might like it. I watched it. Absolutely fucking boring. Just like that movie It Follows. You ever see It Follows?
Yeah, no, never again.
Yeah, it's almost like that Rubber movie.
Here's the thing, though. Rubber actually has memes behind it.
Okay, Rubber's fucking funny though. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's actually watchable because it's cringy to watch at the same time. It was I call it was during the era when memes were first being when memes were first started through stick figure comics. Good old days.
you mean like stickdeath.com and all that stuff? Like those things?
Yeah, that probably goes way back. Probably like early 2000s, like before 2010.
Well, that was like the Newgrounds era, right?
That was like
Stickdeath.com,
yeah, like
uh, Z,
2001, 2002,
Z things, I think. Wasn't that one of them too?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Z thing. Yeah, they had a bunch of the stupid like stuff back then. It was back there in like the aughts and like late '90s. They had like they were making fun of Britney Spears and Al Qaeda and Osama bin Laden and all that jazz.
I think honestly, I feel like that kind of franchise needs to make a comeback for a bit. The whole parody movies, but unfortunately, it's not going to come back because of the times and the culture we live in. Where
Fuck that, man. Vashon, one of our
no, I know
co-hosts,
it's
one of our co-hosts. Yo, God.
no. I was gonna say that I know what you're gonna say. I want it to come back. The
Oh, it
problem
is. We're
is it's kind of like we do our own side rant on Hollywood is that they're more focused on taking IPs and twisting them to promote their identity politics or their own narrative instead of actually coming up with their own unique thing. We can't do not we can't. I'm saying, but they don't do parodies. because everything's offensive.
Well, fuck that. All it takes is a thick skin. The problem, like, if you had more people with thick skin and weren't afraid to take a few of the latchings from the minority people who bitch about this stuff. We're talking about the desperate, as I call them, desperate housewife soccer moms, right? If
That's
we're able
fucking done.
if we're able to endure that, or someone is, I would be more than happy to endure it. It's just I don't have enough time in the fucking day to write all that stuff. I've got to deal with EC. I've got other side projects that we're kind of doing this type of thing now, which just launched right now. This quasi daily show that we're trying to do, right? There's a lot to do, and I there just aren't as many hours in the day. And you even told me that. I told you, JB, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, and you're like, Mike, let's be realistic. How
Yeah,
many hours in a day do you have?
yeah. No, there's not enough time of the things we want to do, until
No,
everything becomes more centralized.
no. So I mean, if I could literally spend like a week just like in a cabin, maybe with a book bound in human flesh and written in blood, and work on a parody, I have no problem doing that.
Yeah, no,
So
definitely. I definitely would want to say, especially for the audience, parody movies need to make a comeback, and it has to be not just that you're making fun of one side, which a lot of people, which a lot of the whole political sphere likes to do, is make fun of one side, right? No, I want you to make fun of everything because
well,
that's
yeah,
genuine, real comedy. That's what comedians
it's
are supposed to do. It's satire. It's
well,
supposed to be funny. It's supposed to offend you. You know.
well, that's the thing. It's like you said in the past. I'm not sure if we ever. I know we talk a lot off the air, but
Hmm.
I think you said it on air a couple times. The best type of comedy is the comedy grounded in truth, right?
Exactly.
So if we get like a parody, right? If we write a parody, like I would love. I don't want to give the ideas out right now because we're live, not live, but we're recording right now. But
Yeah.
one of the parody ideas that I have, something we've been going back and forth with, I think would be fantastic, right? I'm just gonna say Sus is that's the only
Yeah.
moniker I want to do with the
No,
company or anything. But
I get what you're putting down.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think if we sat down, like literally spent like a few days just hammering out short scripts, like they don't have to be huge ass parody movies. They could literally be like skits, right? I have the equipment. We just have to write down the material, and then we just have to get people to act in it ourselves, friends. It doesn't have to be top of the line, and just start doing it. Right? We
Hmm.
can potentially do push like a movement, or maybe hopefully encourage people because the stuff we want to do, right, is like you're saying, doesn't really push the envelope, but because people are so sensitive, it comes off as such.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, and it in a way, not in a way, it has to push the envelope now because unfortunately that idea, not saying that it didn't exist by pushing the envelope, but now there's almost no good comedy. Like, and the only fucking shit comedy you have is when Marvel tries to insert a really stupid comedic scene in an attempt to make one of their serious Marvel movies. It's terrible. There's no true comedy. When was the last time there actually was a parody movie? I'm talking like legit raw parody. I'm talking like Scary Movie 1, 2.
I mean, I can't say
3
that
was
it's
alright. 3 was passable, but then 4 and 5, it was like, all right, I think we're done here.
I can't say it was an intentional parody, but the Velma series on HBO Max, right? That show's god awful. But I think I don't even know if the writers of that show realize what they're doing, but they are literally writing. You know how like we make fun of the whole like woke nonsense where it's people like the check boxers and stuff like that.
Yeah, check every box before you even attempt to write a fucking story. Yeah.
Exactly. That is exactly what part of what Velma does. And because it has this element of self awareness and quasi fourth wall breaking element to its try delivery of its humor, it comes off as it realizes that it is, quote, like woke. And I say, quote, woke in like quotation marks, but it comes off as almost parody because it's like, it's weird. It's almost like a snake eating its own tail.
I think that I at this point, if you think about it, I think they're just writing upon the whole negative reviews of it, It's kind of what Vashawn was mentioning about the other day.
Oh yeah, the
The,
review bombs, which
the review bombs.
God,
They're riding the coattails of the review bombs. Now they're saying they're doing the season two,
yeah, which
and
I can't.
I, I don't know why. Like I don't. It almost feels like if you were to attempt to do something by accident and make a show like Velma, that's a one and done. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
It's
were attempting to just do an like we're gonna do this on purpose. It's one and done though. To do a second season, you're doing too much, but you're also taking a huge financial risk, in my opinion. Obviously.
well, that's the problem. So people, yeah, I'm gonna. This is quoting the great Razor Fist. Um, the saying is "go get woke, go broke," but I don't think that that's the case. I think it's "go broke, go woke," because as soon as you start hitting that financial like can no longer be in the black threshold, you start not you but the corpos start shilling out to this whole woke ESG bullshit, right? And when they do that, that's corporate. It's like a separate language where the corpos realize, you're willing to play ball with whatever we're gonna push, right? Whether it is what they're whatever the what I call it, monster of the week cause, right? I said
Hmm.
last time, literally whatever it may be. That's what I think is going on, and there's some credence to that. Especially if you hear recently that Jeff Bezos is selling Washington Post, and he's looking to buy or have some sort of stake in the that team that just the old Redskins. I forgot what they changed their new name to.
Oh, it was so fucking stupid. I know you're talking about. Something Guardians. Hold on.
It was it might as well be called the Washington Generics because that the name is so fucking so bland. It makes vanilla look like fucking ghost pepper. Okay, that's how fucking terrible that name is.
You make white people that don't know how to make good chicken look good.
I boiled my fried chicken. Excuse me.
And it's like, hold on. It's like I
Wait a
put
minute.
seasoning, puts a little dash of salt and pepper on it, and it's like,
It's
bro,
spicy.
it's like that chicken. The chicken is blander than the Sands Beach. Come on now, seriously.
Yeah.
I fucking can't.
But yeah, so fuck me. Goddamn. Yeah. So, but that's the whole point. I don't really think it's go woke, get woke, go woke, get broke, or whatever it's called. I think it's more like go broke, then you get woke, because then it allows them to say, hey, throw me an ESG lifeline for at least the corpos.
Hmm. But you can honestly, you can see a mixture of both happening
Oh,
at this
absolutely,
point because it,
absolutely.
it definitely was it definitely was go woke, go broke before, and I can obviously see now that it's go broke, then go woke after that because they're basically going to say, like you said, monster of the week. It's like what's trending this week, so let's pretend we actually give a fuck about these people, and say,
Yeah.
hey, yeah, we agree with you and stuff like that. It's it's funny. Is this whole like computer Twitter algorithm. As soon as I'm talking about that, that's a trending topic that appears. I don't know if that was just
Are you
coincidence.
serious? Wait, are you serious? Because
Yeah,
let me boot
on
into it
the
right now.
on the news feeds it says the NBA game trending died suddenly, trending moving to California, trending go woke go broke, and then
Wait, trending
trending.
to go to wait, hold on. Trending moving to California?
Yeah, that's
That's
trending.
got to be some
I
that's
don't
got
know
to
what
be
the
some
fuck
AI
that is.
bot shit cuz I can't imagine someone in this day and age wanting to actually willingly move to California.
Yeah, if you want to move to California, I'll be honest, there's kind of something wrong with you. Like if you're probably going to visit, and this is not meant to sound bad. This is coming from just a factual, from a factual basis. This is not about oh I'm visiting a friend or I'm visiting a relative out there. Okay, sure, that's fine, right? That's not a big deal. But you want to move out there, even if I had the money, right, to move out there, that would be a waste of money to
I
move
wouldn't.
into California or any big major inner city.
We're we're talking about a state, right? Say we'll talk about San Francisco. We're talking about a city and a state, right? that literally persecutes someone for defending their life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, right? There's a story of a man. I don't know if you caught it. There was a man in San Francisco. He recently was arrested because he sprayed a homeless woman with water, right? Just water, right? This was, by the way, a homeless woman who had, if I'm not mistaken, released her bowels, was causing all sorts on his property, like in front of his gallery, and causing all sorts of other disturbances as well. He had called the cops numerous times on her, and they did absolutely nothing. One day, the guy, when she goes up to her shenanigans and starts ranting and raving because, mental illness is at the heart of this situation, unfortunately, right? And he takes a little hose and he starts spraying her, right? The cops get called, and he's the one who gets arrested.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
It's a
Tho-
crock of shit.
no, those cops should get their badges taken away. Should get fired. I'm not sorry for saying that. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Whoa.
You can't justify with that with logical sense at
No,
all.
you really can't. But that's the whole thing with California. There are other stories, people having people break into their businesses, whatever they may be. These businesses are potentially their livelihoods, right? How they feed their families and, provide a home for them. And as soon as they do something to apprehend the perp is the one that says, is the one that's told, hey, by the way, you can go. While the guy the business owner, he's the one who's arrested, or she.
Yeah, no, because they're tending to side with almost a criminal than the criminal, but then they'll also side with people who pretend to play the victim for their political nonsense.
Oh yeah, you see that all the time.
Hmm.
You saw that thing with AOC when she was quote at the border. It turns out she was at a parking lot, and
Yeah,
she's
at the
crying like,
border, my ass.
and it was quickly debunked. Like it was shown that she was actually just crying in front of a fence, acting. Just of course, but that's all politics are. They're all actors. There's a
Yeah,
little difference between a
she's an
politician
act. She's an
in
actor
Hollywood.
who sucked their way off the ladder. I mean, up the ladder technically.
I mean,
I
you're
for
not
some reason
wrong.
I guess it worked, but you leave your morals at the door. So
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It's a very amoral, shall we say, what field politics with certain individuals. Not everyone, but certain individuals.
all people just do is talk in politics. It's all you do is talk, talk, talk. I never see enough action going on. All I hear is a bunch of people talking. This is happening. This is happening. Like no fucking shit is happening. I don't have to turn on the news to know it's happening. What the fuck are you doing about it?
I
Seriously, what
mean,
the fuck are you doing? Oh, we have this plan. Is it legit? Okay, let's fucking do it. Oh no, we need to go out the rules and terms. No, fuck that shit. Life is too short. Move on. Come on.
well, they're not doing anything. It's like you're saying, they're not doing anything. They don't
No,
care to do anything because they don't have to worry about it. There are some individuals that
no.
do
They're
care. Don't
lining
get me
their
wrong.
own pockets. Well, yeah, not every politician,
No,
but
but there are.
I think it's fair to say it's most.
Oh, without a doubt. I'm even me who's not someone who wants to cast a blanket over people, right? But
Yeah.
still, that's one thing I can't deny. You know, most politicians are like that. It's very far and few that you get the Ron and Rand Pauls, of the politosphere. Like, did you ever see that video of Rand Paul going over the budget or what was spent in like these ridiculous omnibus bills that they're passing
Oh, wasn't
nowadays?
that just recently about a month ago?
Yeah, it was not too long ago.
I
Uh,
actually did it. It was like legit a month ago. Not legit, but yeah, it was around about a month and a half ago. About how much the new spending bill, where's the money going towards?
so for instance, there's a video you can find on YouTube if you want to find it quickly. Just type in Rand Paul spending bill Thanos, like from Marvel, by the way, folks. And he goes on like a 2.5 minute talk about like just not all, some of the things that are in these spending bills. Like, if I'm not mistaken, $2.3 million went into researching for people the effects of cocaine. And what they did was, which like we don't know the effects of cocaine are by now. Come on, we had the '80s. Let's wake the fuck up. And injecting cocaine into fucking puppies.
Yeah, I bet a lot of those lefties and liberals didn't see that.
No, of course not. And then you have this is the most ridiculous one. They spent over $118,000, and this is why I said type in Thanos, to study if a metal replica, basically a robot, can wear I guess the Infinity Gauntlet, a mock up of the Infinity Gauntlet, and snap its fingers. Spoiler alert, they found out $118,000 later, no, it can't. So
That's so fucking stupid. I don't
I
know how.
guess, I guess we can rest easy now, knowing that if Thanos was a robot, we'd be perfectly fine.
Yes,
So
yes. I could rest easy now at night knowing that he's not gonna kill us.
it's just that's fucking politics, dude. That's why we have to. That's why we're going to rather just make our like. You want parody movies? Then let's make fucking parody movies. I have camera and the equipment. It's a matter of sitting down and writing the content and what you want to be in there. Because I have my own ideas of humor and you have your own ideas of humor, which we blend pretty well together, I would say, right?
Hmm.
And let's just combine it.
No, exactly. Bring out true comedy again. Not this shit fest of what Hollywood is dumping out on the American people.
Yeah, I mean,
And it's funny because they're eating that shit up too.
well, that's the whole point. It's like consume content, consume content. People are so ravenous for it, and they don't think that there's an alternative market when there is. That's why on the episode of Neon Nights, which, funny enough, this episode's going to go live before that episode, ironically enough, I talked about a bunch of independent comic creators alone that are actually doing that type of thing. They're creating content for people. Like you're gonna be, like Death, 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 which is a sci-fi manga. You have Fiendish. You have I'm trying to remember the other ones. Reaper Destroyer. You have Isom
Hmm.
by Eric July. You have Crimson Wren by Clownfish. I mean, there are a plethora of independent creators that don't even have their comics like their campaigns ready, but they're in the works. And as soon as they go live, one, I'll be investing into them. Not investing, but I'll be backing them. Full disclosure. Two, as soon as I do, I'll drop a line. I'll be like, hey, by the way, go to Indiegogo and back up. Insert title of the campaign here, and hell, we'll provide a link in the podcast description.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is for all the people out there. If you're tired and you're constantly complaining and talking about the woke garbage movies and shows that Hollywood likes to present itself. Not all, but there's disparity of that. Most of it is. There are some obviously that weren't, but the whole premise of it is to support independent content creators because there's no point in complaining and bitching about something and you're not going to do anything about it.
No, not at all.
The whole point is to actually be proactive, like that is going to benefit something in the long run, not proactive in the sense that you're going to go riot or do something just because someone doesn't feel like calling you a pronoun that you made up or something or some bullshit politics. Come on now. You got to fight the culture change. There's a ton of independent content creators out there that are looking for people to support them. So, support them.
Yeah, but
And
by the
that's
way,
how you
just
be proactive.
I need to put some talk back though, but because I identify my pronouns as error, so air/er. So yeah, like
Oh,
you get it.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I was hoping I wasn't a little too subtle with that one.
No, 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 no. I did get that. I think shit. Ah, yes. My pronouns are sins. Yeah,
Daddy sins.
it's my
you
pronouns.
acknowledge you acknowledge to the two of someone calling you daddy or sins.
I acknowledge myself.
Fucking done.
It's not a gender because there's no genders. It's only sex. So let's try to re-educate people, Mike. I know it's probably a long process and it'll probably it's gonna not be as effective in our lifetime, but we got to get these people to wake up. So
It really depends. I mean, it's so hard to say what the At least for me, at least I think it's a little difficult to determine what it's going to look like down the road. You know, where people align and what they believe in and so forth. So
Well,
this.
life is too short. Things are getting worse every day. So if people don't do something now, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously.
I think you just got to create your own piece of heaven with who you can and where you can. I think
Yeah.
that's the best thing you can do. You know.
Well, yeah. They have to create not just create their own piece of heaven, right? But they need to be part of the change. Because remember, you can live in your own bubble, and that's fine. But at some point, your bubble's gonna pop because the outside world will eventually consume it.
Well, yeah, that's why there's that old saying. If you want peace, prepare for war.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
You
that's why
always
people
have to fight and defend what you have and what your beliefs are.
Well, that's why again. That's why people are. Fuck. Where's I going with this? Um. God damn it! I had my train of thought and just completely lost right now. Son of a bitch. Go on, JB.
I was gonna say, or we can hold do the oh damn it was it Freddy versus Jason? No, Jason X. Freeze ourselves, wake up like thousands of years later, come back as a cyborg. Maybe things will change. Is that too much?
I would say I think that's just a tad too much. What I was going to say was for the quote, if you want peace, prepare for war. It goes parallel to. I just remember what I was going to say. It goes parallel with. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Mm-hmm.
So always be prepared to defend. Gatekeep maybe even certain fandoms if there are, right? Especially with what's going on with like the OGL 1 point insert. I don't know what the fucking number they are. If they even announced if they were
You
gonna
mean the oh shit oh, the
the
oh
OG
shit L?
hell, yeah, the OG hell. I have no idea what's going on with it anymore. It's
I
it's
don't think
such.
Wizard of the Coast knows what's going on with it.
I really don't. I mean, as far as I know they've from what was reported they've lost at least 40,000 plus subscribers. Me being one of them. You know.
So 40,000 subscribers at the bare minimum. Let's say the bare minimum. I think it was $2.99 a month, right?
I did the five ninety
Also
nine
from
thing
the
or whatever.
yeah, that's just it. So like the bare minimum, and that also probably doesn't even account for what they lost with the whole Magic 30 debacle.
Oh God,
So
yeah.
$2.99 the bare minimum, probably not. So 100 about 119,000, but that's more probably just Wizards of the Coast or Dungeons and Dragons. Believe it or not, it doesn't sound like much because Hasbro's a $1 billion company.
Yeah, because they have all various different licenses and IP that they have now. Like they now have Power Rangers, they have Transformers, they do some of the toy
Magic
manufacturing. I
Arena
think
selling digital cards.
that's like buying fucking NFTs. Oh, for fuck's sake. Um,
I buy NFTs a picture of someone's balls. It's like, all
yeah,
right,
and
bro.
then
It's like, all right.
and then you hear the stories about people who get NFTs, right? And all of a sudden it's like, oh, someone created a bootleg NFT of something I own, and now I've lost like millions or billions in my value. I'm like, yeah, what do you think's gonna happen when you
Yeah,
create like an
you're a
only
fucking
digital?
moron.
Yeah, the fuck this. What did you read one too many times? Ready Player One, thinking oh hey, by the way, if I get this NFT, I can be a multi-billionaire in the metaverse. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the metaverse when they can shut you off anytime they want to. Good luck
Yeah,
with that.
exactly. Yeah, while you're living in a pod eating bugs. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Which get ready. The McPlant I think is already here. You heard about that?
To make plant.
The McPlant. Yeah, it's an all vegan McDonald's burger patty.
So not only is it worse for you because McDonald's already has preservatives in it
And soy.
and soy, right? And
Talk about bitch tits.
exactly, yeah. For the men out there, I don't know why you have bitch this, etc. Should change your diet. Just saying. Now you see why. Too much soy, too much of that old McDonald's. It's a type of fast food. It's okay once in a while. It's not going to kill you, right? But when you consume it on a multiple weekly basis or you're doing it a lot of times every month, it's doing long term harm to you, right? Once in a while, it's not gonna do anything to you, right? But don't overindulge, especially on that.
No, well, too much of anything is bad, even a good thing. Like for instance, my like
Well, not according
this.
to Wizards, because apparently, even though we said there was too much product, they said it's that there wasn't too much product. They
Right,
said
right.
it
I
was what
wonder.
we wanted. So
Right, right. I wonder how that market's looking right now.
it's pretty it's pretty bear market as uh Timothy's Taco Emporium basement man likes to say.
Yeah,
So
talking to his ex-wife's boyfriend, right?
his ex-wife's boyfriend who are out at dinner eating Taco Bell. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Alpha Investments. That's anyone listening to this episode right now. Go check if you're into magic and just someone who just is economically savvy or fiscally savvy, right? Go listen to Alpha Investments. The dude is just for the humor alone, he's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, no, the humor is there. There's a reason why he's humorous. You have to understand it and pick it up because if he was actually genuine in our world, you could be held quote liable for some reason.
Yeah, which is why I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take anything I say seriously.
But what I do is,
What I do is eat tacos with my ex girlfriend. It's like, all right, bro, cool.
yeah, while opening magic pack, cracking packs.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
he's
hashtag not sponsored by Taco Bell, by the way, but that
yes,
would
not.
be nice.
I mean, you've got your Baja Blast, don't you?
I do. I do have spicy Baja Blast.
Spice? Is it really called spicy Baja Blast?
No, just
Oh,
it's only because it has alcohol in it
gotcha. Okay,
that
all
you
right.
can only get in 3 states for some fucking reason.
That does make me wonder if that's just those are like market state, like test market states, and then if it's popular enough in those states, they'll just push it to every other state for like a limited run, kind of
It,
like if they do like the
it's
McRib
been
or some
out for a
shit.
year now.
Oh,
It's kind of that Southern culture thing. It's in Florida, Kentucky, I think, or no, Ohio. I think I know Florida and Ohio is left. I think Kentucky is the third one. But it's kind of how that whole like Southern meme, I guess, down there. Apparently, Mountain Dew is obviously a popular soda brand, but I
well,
think it's
Mountain Dew. So,
more popular down there.
well, you know the origin of Mountain Dew, right?
No.
Mountain Dew was you. The reason, if you look at the old school bottles of Mountain Dew, right? They have a prospector on there, and the prospector has a what do you call it? A jug, right? The moonshine jug, the stereotypical cartoon moonshine jug. They used to use Mountain Dew to, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was to chase whiskey with.
Oh well, that actually explains the whole Southern stereotype behind Mountain Dew in the South. Then actually,
Well, it's not just the South. Like we're talking, like the prospectors also went out west, like to California and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was used to,
Oh
yeah,
wait,
chase whiskey.
What was the state you said again?
Oh, California,
Yeah, there we go. That was a state.
California. Yeah, I had to correct myself.
Yeah.
California. Anyone listening to this podcast, California. That's it.
Yeah. Remember, we're not a financial advisor, so don't take us seriously.
Yeah. So long story short, that's if you look at the old fashioned, like we're talking like the retro label, like they used to do like the retro label for Pepsi every so often.
Hmm.
They would do the same thing for Mountain Dew, and they have the prospector on there. Why? They used to chase whiskey with Mountain Dew.
I feel like that still happens in just like college bars.
Probably like none of the college bars I've been to even put Mountain Dew in anything. But if you go to the certain state, probably I would not be surprised.
Oh, did you know they have a Mountain Dew Baja hot sauce coming out?
What the fuck? What is this? So I don't drink. You have to explain this to me. I'm outside of this cultural zeitgeist. What the fuck is Baja Blast? Why is it so popular? Like I remember you going crazy for it every time Walgreens or insert some store had like the seasonal run of it. What's the big deal
Yes,
about Baja
Baja
Blast?
Blast only has a seasonal run of the summer. So usually before the summer ends, I end up probably buying about maybe like 40 bottles, which kind of will like, I don't drink all of it obviously because it's really bad for you, but it's pretty much will last me about the 6 months of winter that I seem to have. bare minimum 6 months, mind you, because
All right, you
it
come from
definitely
the land of
doesn't
the
hit.
ice and snow. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hit summer till fucking June up here. So
Hey, it's like, hey, JB, we got like 60-degree weather. Like you're texting me, like, Mike, it's like 26 over here, and I've got 17 inches of snow.
yeah, and it's like good for you though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't. I was like, I can't.
Uh,
They have a
hopefully,
so they have a Baja hot sauce coming out, but you can't buy it, and it's only a competition, and they're only making 70 of them. It's supposedly so in celebration of National Hot Sauce Day. Select an option below to let us know you'll be smothering your Mountain Dew Baja Blast hot sauce, and you'll be entered for a chance to win your own bottle. So the pictures on their website, by the way, not sponsored. We're just looking up for fun.
yep, go on.
Is I think that's a bacon, egg, and cheese with salt, pepper, ketchup on a hash brown. Actually, looks really good.
That sounds delicious.
That's
Haven't
the
had
New
one of
York.
those in a
It's
bit.
the New York. It's the New York staple. This looks like a chicken gyro wrap. It's got some tacos and wings. So I guess you're supposed to sign up. You pick one, and then they're gonna choose randomly, I suppose. And then you'll be entered. I'm definitely gonna enter just because it is funny. And I mean, what can you really lose from doing this? You might win.
What is it called? Tell me, what's the website?
So it's on the Mountain Dew website. Mountain Dew Baja Blast hot sauce. It begins January 19th and it ends on February 8th.
All right. Read the official rules. Let's take a look. We won't read all of them, but oh no, this is a massive terms of service. Yeah, no, thank you. First ever Mountain Dew Baja Blast. It looks absolutely atrocious.
Oh, it does. But they're only making like 70 of them.
It's like Slimer green. Like this, you know how like in Goosebumps, if there's ever like alien blood or something like that,
Yeah, but
this
you
stuff is the
can't.
color of Nyquil.
Yeah, but you can't. You tell me you never had like those Terminator 2 goo toys from the 90s that you would put in and put like the mold of the Terminator.
No, I never had one of those. No,
Yeah,
I
'cause I
may
think
have.
it was like the 90s or the 80s. Like that was kind of like a phase, like that whole like goof action figure things.
I had my toys were Jurassic Park, um, Street Sharks. Yeah, I love Street Sharks, Jawsome, and all that. Oh, so
Street
good.
charts.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I'm blanking out the last one. Uh, Fuck, I forgot the last one now. Damn it, Street Shark. I remember the top two were Street Sharks. I had some Jurassic Park like dinosaur toys. Oh, and Godzilla stuff.
I was gonna say you never had the no, not really infamous, but we'll call it the famous Ivan ooze from when the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie came out.
No,
That
but I
purple ooze in a jar.
no,
It
but
was popular.
I did own the Goosebumps board game, which was a lot of fun
Okay.
back in the day when that first came out. That was a lot of fun. But this shit looks like Nyquil, like legit. Like we'll post a link in
I
the.
mean, if you're really sick, Nyquil can taste kind of good, I guess.
I don't know
But you
why.
probably won't know because if you're
What?
hooked up on Nyquil.
I'm like, wait, hold on. What's going on?
I'm just saying it does look weird, but at the
Yeah, like
same
imagine,
time,
like okay,
here's
so
the thing: I'm gonna sign up for this, and if I win, surprisingly, I'm not gonna hold it because obviously some people will hold it because it is gonna be a collectible thing because they're only making 70. I
right.
will make something of it and then post it on Instagram. So let that be known. I will do that if I happen to win a bottle of their hot sauce.
You should make. You should literally make. What's it called? Like buffalo wings out of them or Baja
That's
wings,
probably
I
what I'm
guess.
gonna do. I'm literally gonna do
Yeah.
wings. Like that's it.
Oh my god, this
We just
sounds.
have to do it together. You definitely have to try it.
I'll try it, but I can't promise I won't throw up because like lately, my stomach's been super sensitive. Like I can't eat. Like I'm getting old, I guess. I can't eat too much fried stuff. Like fried stuff and me does not get along anymore. Like I had, what was it for New Year's? I had some wings, right, to celebrate for New Year's, and a little pizza, nothing crazy. And the next day, my stomach was like riled. So I'll definitely try it though. Like I'll have some wings, I guess. You know, fuck it, why not?
I figured
Who who else? Who wouldn't want to have wings that are colored like fucking Nyquil? People, I kid you not. If you don't go to the website, just to get in your head, that color, that green color that Nyquil is, that's exactly what this Baja Blast hot sauce looks like.
Yo, it does. But you know what? They'll actually go to it because you remember last year when people were, uh, I don't know if it was just the whole trend of people cooking their chicken in Nyquil. That actually was a thing.
No,
I
it
don't know if you
was,
forgot
and
about it, but
no, it was, and the problem was it wasn't even a trend. So it was a trend that all of a sudden just picked up. But the video I think was like originally filmed in like what 2015 or something like that, and then somehow out of the blue it gets picked up by the algorithm, and then one idiot after the other just starts doing like Nyquil chicken, and they wind up passing out, setting their house on fire, burning themselves terribly. Like
there's the
fucking,
same people who ate the Tide Pods. So
it's fucking Darwinism at work right there. Natural selection.
yeah, I mean, I can't blame it because I guess there's less and less people, which sounds bad, but if you're stupid enough to do that, I'm sorry, you kind of deserve to go at that point. Like there's no I'm sorry, but you should have known. But yeah, no, if I'm gonna sign up for it, and if I do it, I'm gonna stick to my word. I'm gonna,
Okay, I mean,
even though people say, "Oh, you should keep it sealed," and people probably try to sell on eBay because there's
so
they're only making 70 bottles.
I just entered in the contest too. So whoever wins wins. If I win, I'll send you the bottle. I'll mail it to you, like certified mail, all that jazz. Make sure it gets to you, and then I'll wait to see what you cook, and then I will drive to wherever you are, and we'll try whatever Nyquil fucking looking
We
food
might
you
have to do
decide to
multiple
concoct.
things. I might do like wings, some tacos.
We'll do like the breakfast sandwich, bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup, and put like a little bit of this Baja Blast mixed in with the eggs.
I feel like
Oh
we're like
God,
disrespecting the New York fruit, but yeah,
yeah, you're not wrong, but dude, for fucking science.
for science that
Uh,
that Mountain Dew is doing this. Yep.
God, Mountain Dew comes off to me as like this, like the colors of their drinks come off to me as like those stereotypical, like in the cartoons, like evil corporation makes a drink and it's like just radioactive sludge in a fucking bottle.
Oh, it's it that no that's basically what it is, but it's fucking that's basically what it is. Yeah, I the one I can still drink and tolerate so good is Baja Blast because that shit's good.
I haven't had Mountain Dew since I was a little kid, I think, to be honest. Um,
You you can only get Baja Blast either during the summer or in at Taco Bell.
I should just send you like a Mountain Dew mini fridge, if anything. This way
That's
you can
probably the main reason why people go to Taco Bell is because of the Baja Blast.
probably, and also if they need to like rid their system of whatever's like infecting, they're like, hey, by the way, I can either throw up or fucking shit myself. So, you know, they'll go to Taco Bell
Might as well eat something that tastes decent. So yeah,
and they just sit in the toilet for like next 45 minutes to an hour just fucking shitting themselves. Holy shit, man. I can't
but yeah.
believe
If you ever hear this, we would still be okay if you sponsor us. By the way, Taco Bell. So just as a disclaimer.
I'm just saying it's the perfect remedy for food poisoning. Like you're worried about your food's going to poison someone, don't have to worry about it. They put a little. Nah, I don't know what they put in their food, but yeah,
It's real beef. Come on.
it's like that. It's like that's like that episode of The Simpsons with the rib witch. Like, oh, we have to discontinue the rib witch. Why? The animal we get it from is going extinct. He says, the pig? No, think smaller. A lot more legs.
Fuck. Oh yeah, I'm fucking done.
Oh man, it's fucking fantastic. But speaking of horrible monstrosities from the Nether Realms, have you been keeping up with The Last of Us?
Yes,
Okay, seeing
I
as
actually
how
just rewatched the first two episodes again.
okay, what's your overall consensus? Are you kind of in the same camp as what I'm hearing is most people, where they're like, "Oh, it's actually not so bad so far," or do you have like some strict, like
I
harsh
would start off
criticisms?
by saying this, and I know you guys have heard me many times saying this. and I have to say this because this is also funny. As for a video game adaptation of a video game to a TV show, it does a hell of a lot better than the shit Resident Evil Netflix series and that fucking debacle of a Paramount Plus Halo series
Well,
that
first
we
off,
got last year.
I don't know about you, but I really appreciated seeing Lance Reddick as Butter Knives, Blade's cousin.
Yeah, I was wondering how the hell they got Blade in Resident Evil. Granted, though, Lance Riddick, great actor. Seriously,
Yeah,
great actor.
phenomenal actor. Just I don't know what
Like,
got
dude,
can
like I
I
don't
don't
know how
know.
you did like you did fucking Blade or because he literally like because obviously kind of they did not Last of Us. Well, how it was one of their check boxes they race swap things. So obviously, if you see the Netflix series, you shouldn't watch it. It's total garbage, by the way. But if you happen to just see it, just for the what the meme we're referencing,
Yeah, because
he looks like Blade.
people are gonna watch it because the options are either get your balls caught in a bear trap or watch Resident Evil Netflix. Those are the two options.
Yeah,
But yeah, go on.
there are better things to watch on Netflix, by the way. But yeah, no, it's
Like Alice in Borderlands, right? I mean, I haven't
oh
seen it
god,
myself since I think the first couple episodes of season one, but you love that show.
I can go on. I think we could save that for another night. But yeah, I can actually go on about like a lot of the current South Korean and Japanese movies and TV shows I've been watching on Netflix, and they are solid gold. Great, in my opinion, obviously.
Yeah, my personal favorite of the Korean ones, at least, not just not the Japanese, but Koreans, is Kingdom. There are moments where it's a little slow in its pacing, but overall, when it delivers, it really delivers, and the characterization is so good. Like I was telling you, JB, the Prince's sensei, like his master,
Hmm.
right, his instructor. I'm not sure if you finished it, but he's such a fucking cool character.
No, no, not yet. Between preparing for my CDH Magic tournament and then now watching like The Last of Us, I haven't been able to catch up on it. But I would say definitely from my favorite South Korean slash Japanese movies and TV shows I've watched so far on Netflix. Definitely my number one is Sweet Home. No,
Really?
not Sweet Home. No, no, I would say sorry. So it's Alice in Borderland,
Well, that's
Sweet
not
Home.
Alice in Borderlands. I have to correct you. That's not Korean. That's Japanese.
No, but before I started saying, I said South Korean and Japanese.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, no, I said both because I know there's both of them technically.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a yeah, no ratio for the audience, by the way.
Well, that's the thing. There's a little cultural thing, but a lot of the Japanese traditionalists, well, over in Japan, they don't consider Japan like Asian, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, they have their kind of own thing going on over there,
Yeah, yeah.
which is that's your own thing. So, good luck with that over there. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, no. So number one for me would be definitely Alice in Borderland. Number two is Sweet Home, and then number three is All of Us Are Dead.
All of a sudden,
And
that's the school, right?
yep, that's the
Yeah.
one where the kids are in the kids are in the high school. Then the zombie outbreak happens, and then you find out that there quite a few of them are quote special, I guess infected. Not like Left
Yeah.
4 Dead special infected, but
No, they tend to have superpowers. Like it's weird. They get like superhuman strength, but they have to control themselves because if they give in it too much, they go like full rage mode essentially.
it was premiere to be like that, but now they obviously have a season two coming out, so I want to see what happens in season two, how they delve into that because they're at the end of that. This by now, if you haven't listened to a Neon Knights episode, right? We don't care about spoilers, so you've been
No, not
warned.
at all.
So at the end of that season, pretty much, right? They go back to the high school, right? They find they meet their old friend who was the young Japanese high school student girl. Right? I can't pronounce her name, right? But if you've seen the show, you know who I'm talking about at the end. She was one of them who was a special. I guess has some kind of special powers or special infected. She's kind of a special zombie. And then she was saying that there's a whole colony or group of them going on because you didn't see, because it was never shown at the end that the main character actually died because he did a very sacrificial
So,
uh, death. So it was not shown. This is, I think there's probably also a comic, so I'm only talking about just from the show,
so,
right? Just as
so
a disclaimer.
if I may interject, the female character's name is, I think, Namra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes, yeah. Now, yeah, I can't pronounce the names, but I already told you I gave you code names for people in Alice in Borderland already.
Yes, you did.
The guy with the silver hair is Emo Sephiroth.
Emo
So,
Sephiroth. Yes, very apt.
yep. I think honestly he's one of the coolest characters because the way he just talks and projects his voice, right? He's not a tall person, but when he talks and projects his voice, it's almost like he has like this deep undertone that the way that the actor projects a voice in the Netflix show Alice in Borderland. It's almost like, damn, all right, I'm gonna listen to you. When you find out he's also like a doctor, but but yes, we can probably go on and on about that, but we'll save that for another episode because I did enjoy and love watching those series of South Korean and Japanese TVs and movie shows on
I mean,
Netflix.
there are just so many of them. Kingdom, Home Sweet
Yep,
Home,
King, I'm
which
still watching right now.
All of Us Are
Um,
Dead, like you listed.
I
Alice
saw
in
Hellbound.
Borderlands, Hellbound. That one's really dark.
That one's fucked up. You want to
Oh,
know
it
the
is
most
very
fucked
much
up
so.
part about that,
The baby.
right? Yeah, actually, that's I could see that the second part fucked up. Well, no, maybe it's actually kind of tied, right? So there's one. So the whole premise behind it is that these three demons will come, and you get a time. They tell you when your time is up. You can't escape them. You try to, they will literally chase you down and beat you to a pulp. So there was a one scene in a couple episodes later where a guy tried to kill himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was broken, by the way, Mike. These are some broken like anime powers. We're talking like plot armor. The guy,
It's Asian,
unfortunately,
so why
he
not?
killed himself. Yeah, he killed himself, right, to avoid his time of fate for the demons coming after him. When he killed himself, the right before the demons came, they brought him back to life just to kill him. Tell me that's not just like fucked up. Like
Hey, life,
we're
life.
talking like how broken is that? It's like you couldn't take yourself out, so they brought you back so they can have the joy of taking you out. These three demons from hell.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. That's some
That and
dark
the
shit right
baby
there.
scene. But that whole baby scene also has some like plot armor at the end, so
Well, that it's like some Harry Potter shit right there.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like how do you give a baby a time? The baby can't even doesn't have a thought process. Then the baby
Yeah,
avoids
exactly.
death because that girl got in the way. But it's like the whole purpose is that you can never escape the demons that come for you. When your time is up, and they come for you, and then they kill you.
Well, I know we're supposed to be talking about The Last of Us, so we have a little time. I know we're cutting it a little short.
Yeah.
Um.
I'll go over just briefly
Okay.
so far The Last of Us. So far from a video game adaptation into a TV show, right? The Last of Us, as much as I rant about Resident Evil because I love Resident Evil series. It's just I was so disappointed in the Netflix show. The
Raccoon
Last
City
of
too.
Us does, yeah, The Last of Us does a really good job uh, representing the video game into a TV show, right? Obviously, it doesn't obey by the original source material, but only by a little bit. Most of the time, if you've seen a lot of the reviews going on, right, about the last episodes 1 and 2, a lot of reviews were very positive, and I was honestly not optimistic about the show, just
Not
because
many.
1, it's Hollywood, 2 was Naughty Dog, three, identity politics and all that stuff. For anytime they try to adapt a large IP into like a TV show because it's popular, whether if it's a video game or an anime, right? The whole Avatar live action and Dragon Ball live action. Ugh. I feel like that was a sin just mentioning those movies. But The Last of Us, it's so far from episode 1 and 2 does a really good job as if staying close to the source material of from the Last of Us video game. Mind you, this is just The Last of Us 1 so far.
Right. I mean, I have no idea. I wasn't a big fan of the game. I thought the game was just very boring from a mechanical sense. I like when I play a game, I like to analyze the mechanics and whether the
Mm-hmm.
game's actually doing something like to
Yeah.
improve and elevate the gameplay. But I never felt that experience. Right. Never thought that it was doing something better than its contemporaries or games that had come before it. So I just never got into The Last of Us.
Yeah.
So I thought it
I
was a
think it
cool
was more
premise.
story driven from
It
at
very
least from a
much
game perspective.
it very much is a very story driven game. But with that being said, like how do events in the game actually translate into the live like screen? Like, are there any scenes in the game that they try to mimic on screen? Like, are there events that occur, things like that?
Hmm.
And
So
if so, which ones?
so what the show does great, it takes a lot of really good um it takes a lot of the scenery from the video game and adapts it really well in into the show, almost like a mirror image. You can see a lot of the rep not representation. You'll see a lot of like the side by side clips, a lot of other view companies showing the different pictures of The Last of Us, of the scene of Joel and Ellie on top of the apartment building, standing out where it looks like a Capitol building. They're standing out. So it's showed by a
Okay.
clip of them from the video game versus the TV show, and
Okay.
it's mirror. It's like almost identical. Obviously, it's not identical really because the characters don't exactly look 100% like the video game characters, but they're really really fucking close, and they've done it really well. I mean, Pedro Pascal he's doing a really good job right now. He's playing Joel
Okay.
in The Last of Us. So obviously, a lot of people have talked about it. They've said it, and because I am critical, you're very critical, but I am also very critical when I do reviews on like movies and TV shows and games and all that. Even the minor
Mm-hmm.
things I have to be critical, especially comes to the source material.
Right.
And you know about the whole. I'm even gonna mention the Amazon show, but yeah, another day.
Oh, you mean Rings of
Yeah,
Power? No, we don't have enough
yeah,
time in the day. No,
yeah.
no.
No, that's what I was
we
saying.
got
Yeah,
we got to wrap
we,
up soon. I don't have another 45 minutes to like.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that show doesn't respect source material at all, but The Last of Us does.
Okay, that's
Obviously,
good.
it's not wholeheartedly because obviously they did. So they did do a race swap of Joel's daughter, right? I
Mm,
would say more of a
okay.
race swap, more like a skin, like color skin swap, which is like all right, whatever. But the actress that plays Joel's daughter, Sarah,
Yeah.
right? They still capture that moment at the end of would you say the end of episode 1 versus the would say the prologue of the video game, right?
Hmm.
They're in the the outbreak starts while they're in Austin, Texas. They're trying to evade the military, and obviously, you find out that she gets gunned down by the
Right.
military.
Yeah.
That moment from the show actually represents it even more emotional and stronger in the show than it did in the game. So kudos to you know. Sorry, I forgot your name, which I'm gonna look up now, so I don't. Uh,
The
as a,
actress,
as a
or
the actress who plays Sarah,
I'll
don't
look
want
it
to
up.
be a disrespect. I don't want to be disrespectful.
I got it. Look it up. I'll look it up. Good.
Yeah, but Pedro Pascal and the actress who plays his daughter Sarah, they really did a good job capturing that moment of him like holding Sarah, him holding Sarah in her arms as she's essentially dying because she got shot.
So the actress's name is Nico Parker. Nico
Ni-
Parker.
Yep, Nick Parker. Yep, she did a really good job playing Sarah. And obviously, from a video game perspective, Sarah is not she doesn't do a lot in the whole she's not in the video game at all. We're only very in the beginning. But with
Right.
a TV show, the TV show was able to elevate and give her some like pseudo character development, some growth within
Flashbacks, I'm assuming.
uh it was more, yes, like there was more in-depth flashbacks of how the zombie, not zombie, of how the outbreak started. It's not zombie, it's a fungi, it's fungus.
Yeah,
How
which
the
is
fungus outbreak started, because in the game you start off as Sarah in Joel's house and it's already nighttime. The
hmm
show starts off as they wake up in the morning, they're having breakfast. His brother Tommy comes over. So they added some backstory. They added a little more depth. So the first episode is mainly about her. So it um gave her some more growth, right, from the TV shows. The TV show is obviously able to do that, right? Because they're able to elevate certain things that I guess a video game or maybe books. I'm not saying they can do, but they could just add more.
well, a book. I think the book is the one. The book out of all the mediums, books are the ones that have the easiest, not easiest, but have the most translatable
Yeah.
ability to getting into a
So all you have
character's
to do was
mind
just
and emotions.
yeah,
Probably film and games are second, and it depends on really how it's executed. Like with something like The Last of Us, I think they really praise The Last of Us for its mocap. So, you know, I'd have to go back and play it. I have no interest in doing so, so I'm not going to. But if you want to go back and play it, listeners, uh, hear back. Do you think it's easier? That's a question to ask, actually. Do you think it's easier to convey emotion through mocapping in a video game, or do you think it's easier to convey emotion through film, through the
yeah.
actor?
That's a good question. I like it. It's no, it's is a very good question. Episode one did an amazing job to start off the series. Obviously, they did some little minor changes, which I already explained about. Episode two. So my concern is what the big topic right now is going on. What episode two did.
And what did episode 2 do?
So episode two actually introduced kind of this backstory outro about the outbreak in Jakarta, Indonesia, right? How
Okay.
I don't know if you know what's going on about the whole bread theory. They're calling it
No,
about
I haven't.
the whole fungus being in flour, basically, because there's a flour and grain factory
Okay.
in Jakarta, in Indonesia, and so they these military guards are these military officers, right, in Indonesia. They find this scientist, this old age scientist. They tell it to go to this university, right? Look through a microscope to look at this fungus. Sorry, I don't really know the details of the name. I actually just can't pronounce it. But if you've seen
Well,
it, you will know.
so I
So
don't know the exact name of the fungus, but the
it starts with
functionality
a
is
C.
a
I know that.
cordyceps. A cordyceps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's for me. I just couldn't pronounce it. But I'm assuming
No,
if the
it's all right.
audience listening, you should know what I'm talking about. So hopefully. So she looks through the microscope. She says it cannot exist in humans, and then the officer then now escorts her to a room where there's a dead body. You see that there's this naked woman, naked woman on the bench, and she cuts where the leg where the woman was bit, and she sees kind of like the whole fungus in. Now she takes like those medical pliers, right?
Yeah.
Opens the dead person's mouth, pulls out the fungi. She freaks out and runs out. Then the officer is kind of like, we wanted you here to help us to make a vaccine or a medicine, and then you hear the music changing, right? It's kind of getting
hmm
more ominous, and she's explaining, saying that you can't stop this. There's no there's no vaccine or medicine for this. Oh, so episode one actually starts out as like in the past of like there's this scientist talking about like the whole fungus and everything. I like how the episodes are start create like an ominous feeling right in the beginning. So it blends well with the whole premise of the game. But then so her last option to say to the military officer. He's like, "What do we do?" And she said, "Bomb," as in
Destroy the
bomb the
whole.
cities,
Got yeah. Figured like burn everything to the ground.
burn everything, bomb the
Yeah,
cities.
because
And
a
her
little
last moment, she's like crying. She's like, "Take me home. I want to be with my family at least." And I'm like, "Wow."
that talk
And
about
then
fucking
you,
black pilled.
yeah, seriously,
Yeah.
she, mind you, this is also like an older old lady. So I'm like, it's not that I can't blame her, but I was like, it got really dark when she said that. I was like, holy shit. Um, but a major character death, Tess dies in the game, dies in this
Yeah.
episode.
She
But
think she what she blows herself up or kills like a bunch of the frontier people or something, right? They're called,
in the
right?
video game, yeah, she gets gunned down by the
That's what it
Fedra.
is. Yeah. Okay.
But in the TV show, right,
Mm-hmm.
she she's throwing the oil barrels on the ground, throws a couple of grenades on the ground, has her lighter. Then her last moments of death was like almost this like the fungal creature, right? And you can see
Yeah.
like its fungal tentacles. It comes up to her. Obviously she's frozen, so she's at like this pedestal. She's backed into a wall,
Yeah.
and like it's kissing her, and it's like
Ew.
gross, yeah. And it's at her last moments, the lighter flicks, and there's a flame drops to the floor and then blows up. So they changed that character. They changed how she died, and that was a really big change. But the big change about it was um, the fungus, because in the game it spreads through spores in the air.
Yeah.
So if you go to an area that's really infected in the game,
You have to wear like a
because you
mask or
play as
something, right?
Joel, you have to put a gas mask on. Yeah,
Yeah. There we go.
because primarily in the first game you only play as Joel. You have little scenes as Ellie, but it's mainly you're playing as Joel. So in certain scenes where there's a lot of spores and it's really infected, you have to put a gas mask on. They said to so it was confirmed that the writers and the producers said to not have the characters wear a gas mask. They said that it spreads almost like through the ground, like they're connected. So say if you're walking and you step on like some fungus or anything or some grass, right? That fungus or that fungal growth can spread miles and miles, and they can feel and hear that, and then out
Yeah.
of nowhere
It's
you can
it's through.
trigger like a few dozen hordes or something.
So the reason why it's referred to as mycelium, I know a little bit about like fungus and stuff. Just
Hmm.
being a fucking nerd, of course, uh, as nerds do.
Yep.
Yeah. So mycelium is like a network. Think of like the internet or
Yep.
some sort of like
Almost like
cloud, right?
strands of like strands that basically connect things together.
Exactly. It's like the nervous system for fungi, and it can
Hmm.
spread. We're talking the largest creature alive, technically speaking, isn't even a blue whale. It's actually a certain type of fungus that exists out in the world. I forgot what it was exactly. For the next episode, I can actually pull it up, or I'll just let you know once I find it tomorrow.
That's
But
actually terrifying to think about. You said it's
yeah,
larger
but
than a
here's
blue
the thing.
whale.
But here's the thing. Fungal spores can infect humans. Why? Because human body temperature at average is 98 to 96 roughly, or 96 to 98.
Hmm.
Fungal spores, if I'm not mistaken, die off in like the early 90s or late 80s of temperature. So because our
Yeah.
internal temperature, unless they adapt, if they somehow evolve, then that's the fear. Then fucking Last
No,
of Us
that
becomes a
that's actually
reality.
what happens, because that was
Oh, really?
mentioned in the first episode.
Oh,
They
okay.
said, yeah, they said because, and the scientist like, so what happens when they adapt and they evolve? And the
Oh,
audience
you
like
fucked.
just staying quiet. He says, and that's when we lose.
I don't know if lose is the right word, but yeah, we're in trouble.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
obviously there's no lose because if you play The
Because
Last of Us Part Two, like human civilization is still going on,
well,
but
also because
basically there was a huge loss, obviously, of the
if you
population.
if you think about the cordyceps that exist in real life, we're talking about ones that infect ants, for instance, right? They survive. Yeah, the cordyceps can wreak havoc within a colony, but if they take proactive measures and remove the infected member, the ant colony, for the most part, will be fine. I'm willing to wager that humans would do something similar. I mean, it would suck, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I feel like what happened in The Last of Us. I don't know if that would be worse, especially what they ended up changing about essentially the growth of these infected creatures. Because episode two did is having more attention, obviously, because it did change. It did a lot of changes. Tess's death was a major change, but I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but like she dies, so it's like regardless, she still dies in the same building. Instead, it's not by Fedra being gunned down; it's by a horde of those infected fungi, creature things. Yeah, they're calling it's infection connection. Sordiceps brain infection spread through via tendrils, not spores as is in games. And in episode 2, Tess tells Ellie, and in turn as a viewer, that the infected are actually connected. The fungus also grows underground, long fibers like wires, some of them stretch over a mile. You can step on a patch of cordyceps in one
Mm-hmm.
place and wake up a dozen infected somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now
So
that where you are, now they come in.
just to
And
provide some perspective. Oh,
yeah,
God.
that was it. No,
Okay.
that was it. That was it. Yeah, yeah.
To go back to what I was saying, just to back up what you're saying right now, the largest living organism, right, is that fungus that I was talking about. It occupies some, according to the Scientific American, right? When was this article written? This article was written back in 2007, right? It occupies 2,384 acres of soil in
Jesus.
Oregon's Blue Mountain. Okay? To put that into perspective, the article says 1,665 football fields, or nearly 4 square miles of turf. Okay? The name of the fungus is Amarilli. I can't fucking it. Armillaria ostoye. And I think it was discovered in 1998.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That actually just makes the premise behind uh these infected creatures in Alaska is even more scarier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like that's what I'm saying. Like the gameplay didn't really do anything for me, but I'm pretty sure
The
like
gameplay, yeah, the gameplay obviously at the time it was obviously on the PS3 if it came
oh
out.
that's right. Holy
Yeah, so
shit.
mind you, it
Yeah.
was the PS3, then remastered on the PS4, then a PS5 remake for $70 fucking.
Don't get me
But
started on that.
yeah, but I mean, if you're a big fan, you have the money, right? Go right ahead. But if
Yeah.
not, you can literally probably download the free. The free game was available for PlayStation Plus for free, the PS4 Master. So there's no reason to honestly, unless you for some reason are goo gaga about updated graphics. But other than that, you can just get the cheaper version and still experience the gameplay. But yeah, the gameplay is very base. But like I remember, I told you it was a PS3. It was the time of the PS3 era.
Right. And well, I mean, it was one of the hot button games for the PS3, along with what's it called? Another Naughty Dog game,
Uh,
Uncharted 2.
yep, the Uncharted series. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to give. I found her name. I don't want to, you know, disrespect her, but she was a new character. So in the beginning of episode 2,
Mm-hmm.
the scientist name is Ibu Ratana. I'm sorry
Okay.
if I'm definitely butchering this. I apologize, but her real actress name is Christina Heichman.
Okay.
So she's introduced as a new character, but she's only in at the start of episode 2 briefly. She kind of starts off that ominous feeling of saying that
We're
the
fucked.
only thing to do is to bomb,
Yeah.
to bomb as much as you can to slow down the spread. And honestly, that's like not the idea of doing that, but I like how the first episode started off with like an ominous feeling.
Well, that's. I mean
It kind of starts
that's.
off like a little bit like playful, then it goes dark fast.
Well,
I
that's
was
the
like, oh,
beauty of it. That's the great thing about such a of a horror story. You want
mhm,
to establish that dark, moody tone right away, and then throughout the story, particularly in the series, have its peaks and downs. Maybe moments where that moodiness breaks with maybe some sort of comedic relief. That isn't overbearing and so forth.
mhm. They also it's already known, but they are changing some things that happens in episode 3. So it does seem like they are delving from the source material a bit, but
Yeah, that's what I heard.
they're not they're not changing it. I think they're just moving things around. Obviously, minus test that's was the technically a quote change
Right. Well, she
because
still died regardless. Just how
she
she
still
died.
died. Yeah, like I said, yeah. When I'm critical, I have to mention the minor things because if I don't, it's. It's just who I am. I have to be critical even the small things. It's supported by, like Reacher says, details matters.
Yes, details matter in the case. Go shut up and sit in your suit.
Exactly. But pretty much to end this, so far, very good. Honestly, a very good TV show of a video game adaptation. Remember, TV show. This is what the Resident Evil Netflix show should have done. There's no excuse, really. You have Netflix, you millions of dollars, and the directors and producers of that show. There was no excuse.
Well, they
So
were
I
just
think
riding on the
hopefully,
name. That's it.
yeah.
That's it.
So I'm hoping that this series. Remember, I'm only judging from the first 2 episodes so far. It could change. It could be way better, or it could gradually get worse.
When does
We
episode
don't
3
know.
go on?
It's Sundays at 9.
Okay. All right. So we'll know. We'll know next week. What you think of episode 3 and if it holds up
this
or if
week.
it was a shite show.
Yeah. Yep. We'll know episode 3 this Sunday. But yeah. Overall, doing a great job. This is what you're supposed to do. Stick closely to the source materials. So hopefully, they set an example for future money hungry corporations that wanna do a cash grab on a popular IP. So if you're gonna do it, at least do it fucking right.
Well, video games
Or at
might be
least
the
close
next
to
big
right.
thing. So that might be the next superhero trend, maybe. Seeing as
Oh,
superheroes
God.
are on their way out. So
Oh, they definitely are. Rashawn.
fuck.
Can you listen to
All
me?
right, let's call it a
He
night. We're,
knows.
we're
Yep.
past we're past our time. Thank you for joining us for an episode of Neon Nights FM. Actually, technically speaking, Neon Nights FM presents Daily Nights episode 1. I've been your host, Michael DeLeon, and joining me today we have our very own Daddy Sins. Say goodnight to the lovely people out there listening tonight.
Yes. Have a good night, everyone. I hope you enjoyed. This is a new thing we're trying to do. Our just daily episode. Trying to keep it short. Sometimes a little bit longer because we go on a rant. But that's the fun about it. It's the beauty of it.
Exactly. And until next time, folks. Actually, no, hold on. Before I call it a night, if you'd like to follow me, your host, you can follow me on Twitter at TreasonTruth, or you can follow me also on Instagram at mdeleon2112 as well. And if you want to stay up to date with everything pertaining to Neon Nights Productions, you can follow us at Neon Nights FM on Twitter and Neon Nights Productions on help me, JB. Oh, Instagram. There we go.
Instagram. And yes, and we're working on our YouTube. So
Yes.
subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. All our links are being posted on Instagram, mainly Twitter right now, and Instagram in our stories.
Yes.
So watch out for our stories mainly when we post stuff. So
And JB, is there any place that these folks can follow you if you want to?
yes, at www.myspace.com slash Tom was my 10th friend. And yeah, that was about it.
Okay, now we have to actually.
Mainly just follow us on follow Neon Nights and Cheese and His Truth.
We have to make you now a MySpace just for the lulz now. It's got to be a running gag.
Yo, if they actually MySpace comes back, I will make an account again. Hashtag not sponsored, but yeah.
All right. Well, until next time, folks, stay golden.